Hello everybody. It's another episode of damage control. What happens to your Schnauzer grooming? How do you recover when real life happens and you get behind? And this can be a dilemma whether you have one dog that you're trying to maintain or you have a number of dogs that you're trying to maintain. Sometimes things come up in our lives and they put us behind, and then we can get overwhelmed really easily if we can't break things down into small, doable pieces. So I recently had Kismet on, and in doing that, I did some raking here in the middle to get her, keep her on a possible show schedule for the fall. But I also recognized when I had her on the table the last time that there is a lot going on here. And so of all my dogs, she's the one that needs me to keep putting little 5-minute, 10-minute sessions in order to keep her going and to address her quality of life and her comfort issues. So it's summer, and one of the things that's really going on right now is it's hot. And when I was looking at her the last time and I raked some stuff out, that's good. I got some undercoat out, that helps. But really what's gonna help her the most with comfort right now is to do this maintenance clipper work on her face, her throat, her ears. These are real important heat transfer areas. And one of the very best things we can do to help keep them cool, even if we can't do everything, is to get those areas nice and short so that they're not, the hair's not insulating there. And if we want to do anything like, you know, put a little cool bandana on or something like that, it has the most effect, the most positive effect. Yes, I know. She would probably rather we not be doing grooming right now, but I know it's in her best interest, so we're going to. All right. We're not going to put a lot of time into it though, because I don't have a lot of it right now. I have a bunch of puppies at home and I have to do a lot of care with them. So that's why these quick grooming bursts. So here, let's jump in. For the maintenance clipper work, that's clippering the face, the throat, the ears. That's most of what we're going to do right now. You can also do maintenance clipper work on the rear, and that includes the tail, the underside of the tail, the private areas, and then the belly here and the inside of the thighs. That's another area you can take short to help if your dog is hot. But I'm only going to have time for one, and the biggest impact one for her is going to be the front. So what we do there, let me get your angle a little better, is since she has a stripped coat and a stripped head, I don't want to clipper the area that I'm stripping. So I'm going to slick back the hard part of the coat. And we're just going to keep working that every 2 weeks until we get a couple of layers going on there. My glasses ready so I can see. And we're doing a quick line from the corner of the eye, the corner of the ear, down the throat. Just gonna go ahead and address that pretty quickly here. Make sure I'm not in your way. Now these lines are pretty straightforward once you know them, but at first it can be a little bit intimidating to just jump in with the clippers, especially on a stripped coat, because it's important that you don't clipper into your stripped areas. You can also see once you're confident with it, it doesn't take very long to get these areas taken care of. Now, if you would like some more instruction on how to do the maintenance clipper work, where these lines are, and how to approach the different areas, I have a course for that, and I've put the course information information in the resources part of this video. I also do private instruction, one-on-one, so if you ever have any grooming questions or you have any specific help that you would like with your Schnauzer, just reach out to me, StrawHatStandards@gmail.com, and I'll either have an answer for you or we can get on a quick consult call. We can do any number of different ways for me to help you. So, before I clipper her ears, since she has a stripped coat, it's important, even though I raked it a little bit the other day, it's important that we at least strip. I'm using a stone because it doesn't break the coat and the head hair is a little softer. I at least want some coat to be growing in case I clipper a little bit of the stripped hair. I don't want to put myself in a problem where that clipper line starts moving up the head. So just to prevent that, I'm just gonna pull real quick a little bit of hair at that transition area on both ears, both sides. And then that way, I'm just setting the stage for success for the future. You don't have to do this, and if you don't have a hand strip dog, it's a moot point. I like to, actually for the summer, use a little bit shorter blade on the ears. Normally I'd use a 10, most of the time. But in the summer, I like to use a 15, because it's a little shorter. Get back up a little, honey. It's a little shorter, so the effect lasts a little bit longer and the cooling is a little bit better. So again, where it's stripped, I pulled some, and then I can also just kind of move it back out of the way. And I'm gonna lay the ear flat across my fingers. It's a natural ear, makes a nice flat surface to clipper. I actually have another course that gets into a lot of detail on how to do these parts of the head. And I'll also include information about that course in this video in the resources at the bottom. Talking about where, again, specifically where the lines go, but even more detail. The top part of the ear. Here's some thunder outside, so she's getting a little fussy about that. So let me try and get this taken care of before the storm means it's time to stop. One of the things that I can do to help her with her storm anxiety is to not cater to it too much. That doesn't mean I'm gonna say, you know, suck it up, buttercup, too much. But I'm not gonna suddenly go, oh, I hear it. I know you're afraid. Let me telegraph to you that you should be afraid. Instead, I'm just gonna be like, well, yeah, thunder happens and we have some stuff to do. So we're gonna keep doing it for a little bit. That can help them to have something else to think about. And I also want to add, even though I personally am in a hurry right now, I can't be in a hurry about this grooming. I'm not worried so much about making a mistake. That can happen too. But I'm more concerned about her experience. And a lot of times when we're in a hurry, we start to treat them kind of like an inanimate object. And that doesn't feel good for anybody. You, the dog, nobody likes to feel like they are an inanimate object. And grooming is always something that I say should be something we do with the dog, not to the dog. So even though I'm in a hurry, I spent a couple of minutes before I started here energetically changing gears, just sat down, had a few minutes, got out of the rushing mode I was in so I could slow down and be present with the dog. All right, last step on these ears is to trim the edges. Now, for a beginner, it's a good way to do this is you put your thumb and your forefinger on opposite sides of the ear so that you're resting the scissors on your thumb and forefinger, not on the edge of the ear leather. So it looks like I'm trimming right up to the ear leather, and I am, but I'm also only trimming to my thumb and forefinger, which I just keep moving down the ear, keep resting. Now I'm kind of using, as I get to the end of the ear, my forefinger makes a good base. And part of how you do this safely is, like I've said before, on the brushes, but it's the same with the scissors. A light hand, a loose hand. I call it the noodle grip, the wet noodle grip. We want to put pressure and tension into what we're doing. But if I'm cutting with tension and pressure, that's when I'm likely to cut the dog. But if I have a really loose hand, and in fact, what you want to do is you want to rest the scissors in your fingers and just open and close with your thumb. Then you're not going to be exerting very much pressure, so even if you kind of do get to the ear leather, you won't cut it. Okay, so now, since I'm trying to stay on camera, let me move over to this side and do the underside of the ear. Same thing. I know, you hear the thunder. And I use my thumb and forefinger as a guide. And that way, I'm not cutting up against the skin, I'm cutting up against my fingers. So if anything's going to get cut, it's going to be me. I'm taking it slow, opening and closing with my thumb, loose grip, so there's just not a lot of pressure there, okay? Same thing on this side. I'm going a little faster now, and I'm using a little bit less guiding, but that's because of the thunder. I know she's getting anxious, and I'd like to stop before I get into a power struggle with her about cooperation. Okay, so here we go. 13 minutes. She's going to be a lot cooler. Is it beautiful? No. That'll come later. Is it perfect? God, no. But is it functional? Yes. Will it help her be more comfortable? Yes. While I'm in the process of getting caught up from being behind, that's the most important thing for me, for her right now. A little bit of timing and then comfort, buy myself time, put in 15 minutes, another segment. All right. Thanks, honey. You did a good job. All right. Thanks, everybody. Catch you next time.